this week saying that you know, Harry would never leave Meghan,
no.
but obviously they've gone through, they've had between them, there's been a lot of sacrifices.
I think that they are dependent on each other, though.
It's the evening of May 26, 2025, and the Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles is ablaze with the glitz of the 51st American Music Awards, a night where music's biggest stars gather to celebrate. Their every step on the red carpet immortalized by a frenzy of camera flashes. But as the crowd buzzes with anticipation, a black SUV rolls up, and out step Princeharry and Meghanmarkle, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, expecting the kind of adulation they once commanded.
Very dependent on each other.
There was this story that Meghan, had her people approach someone about a divorce book. But I mean, imagine if Meghan left Harry, it would destroy her reputation. She would be eviscerated publicly because she's already slipped into this kind of category on social media, the way that pop.
Instead, they're met with a wall of sound that sends a chill down the spine. Boos, jeers, and mocking chants of "Go back to Montecito" erupt from the crowd. Meghan's custom Dior gown shimmers under the lights, but her forced smile can't hide the sting of rejection. Harry's jaw tightens, his eyes fixed straight ahead as if he can will the crowd into silence.
Lots of things, but you know, there is. I would love reconciliation with my family. There's no point in continuing to fight anymore. As I said, life is precious.
This isn't the glamorous Hollywood return they envisioned. It's a public humiliation so raw, so unscripted, that it becomes the most talked about moment of the night. The red carpet at the Almas is a sacred space, a stage where stars are either crowned or crucified by the court of public opinion. For Harry and Meghan, it's the latter. As they step out, the hostility is palpable. Witnesses report Meghan freezing for a split second, her hand gripping Harry's arm a little too tightly before she plasters on a smile that doesn't reach her eyes. Harry, meanwhile, looks like a man walking to the gallows, his stoic expression betraying a flicker of rage as the crowd's taunts grow louder. "Spare us," one heckler shouts, a cruel nod to Harry's memoir, while another yells, "We're done with your drama." Their walk down the carpet lasts a mere 2 minutes and 40 seconds, a sprint by red carpet standards, before they disappear inside, a clear sign they know they're not welcome. This isn't just awkwardness, it's a collective rejection, a moment so devastating that entertainment insiders later call it the most brutal red carpet snub in award show history. For a couple who've built their post-royal brand on global admiration, media savvy, and progressive ideals, this is nothing short of a catastrophe. Once hailed as the fresh face of a modern monarchy, Harry and Meghan have spent the last 5 years crafting a narrative of victimhood and independence. Think Oprah interviews, Netflix docuseries, and Harry's tell-all spare, but the American public, and apparently Hollywood itself, isn't buying it anymore. The Almas mark a turning point. The crowd's boos aren't just a one-off, they're a loud, clear message that the Sussexes fairy tale has officially expired. As the listers like Billie, Eilish, and Dua Lipa glide past to thunderous applause, Harry and Meghan are met with a chilling silence from the press. Camera shutters fall quiet. No one calls their names for a glamour shot, even E! And Access Hollywood, the usual cheerleaders of celebrity arrivals, opt not to stream their entrance. Liv, the message is unmistakable. You're no longer part of this world. Let's be clear, this wasn't a spontaneous outburst. The disdain for Harry and Meghan has been simmering for years, and the AMA simply turned up the heat. A TMZ insider reveals that media outlets were quietly instructed not to give the couple preferential coverage, a stark contrast to their 2021 Oprah interview days when every outlet clamored for a soundbite. They didn't want Meghan turning this into another me moment. The source claims, a jab at her history of what critics call performative activism. On the red carpet, the snubs get even more personal. A viral TikTok clip captures Meghan angling her body for a pose, her eyes darting nervously toward the photographers, but not a single shutter clicks. Another video shows Taylor Swift taking a subtle step back as Meghan approaches, her smile tight and polite, while Post Malone turns his back entirely, engaging in a loud conversation with his team the moment Harry gets close. A rising R&B star is overheard muttering to her handler, "Why are they even here? No one wants them anymore." It's a masterclass in cold shoulders, and the Sussexes are left to endure every icy second. The tension builds inside the theater, where the couple's isolation becomes even more apparent. In years past, Harry and Meghan were seated among the A-list elite. Think Oprah, Beyonce, even the Obamas at one point. But not tonight. Leaked seating charts, later verified by Variety and The Hollywood Reporter, reveal they've been relegated. 2-row H sandwich it between TikTok influencers and a backup dancer from a Netflix reality show. It's a deliberate demotion, a message from the organizers. You're no longer part of the power circle, an insider close to the event tells The Hollywood Reporter. The goal was simple: don't reward them with proximity to relevance. It gets worse. During a commercial break, Meghan reportedly tries to move closer to the front row, only to be stopped by security citing assigned placements. A fan-captured stream catches her whispering sharply to Harry, her face a mix of irritation and disbelief, while he shrugs helplessly. The industry has spoken, and it's not on their side. The climax of the night comes during the opening monologue, when host Kevin Hart takes the stage and delivers a dagger straight to the Sussexes' already bruised egos. "We've got Prince Harry and Meghanmarkle in the house tonight," he says, pausing for effect as the crowd murmurs. America's answer to the Kardashians, except with fewer followers and way less authenticity. The audience erupts in laughter, a sound so sharp it cuts through the theater like a blade. The cameras wisely cut to a wide shot, sparing us their reaction, but a leaked audience clip tells the real story. Meghan's forced smile fades in seconds, her eyes darting to the floor, while Harry sits stone-faced, his hands clenched in his lap. Their PR team, visible backstage, looks like they've just seen a ghost. Critics later hail Hart's line as a savage takedown, a perfect encapsulation of how far the couple's brand has fallen. Once the darlings of Hollywood's progressive elite, they're now a punchline, mocked not admired. If the public snubs weren't enough, the digital fallout is a tsunami of its own. Within hours, X lights up with the hashtag spare no more, a play on Harry's memoir that trends globally by midnight. Viral posts are merciless. One user writes, "Royal drama doesn't sell any more, spare me the Meghan pity party," while another quips, "First Spotify, now the AMAs, what's next? Meghan's candle line on QVC?" Even celebrity meme pages like Dumoy and Pop Crave join in, posting clips of the BOOS with captions like "Oof" and "the crowd said nope." More damningly, former allies turned their backs. Activist and influencer Jamila Jamil, once a vocal supporter of Meghan's feminist causes, reposts a clip of the red carpet with a single word: disappointing. The cultural verdict is in. The Sussexes' Hollywood dream is dead, buried under a pile of booze and hashtags. But let's not pretend this is just about one bad night. The Almas are a mirror reflecting years of missteps, overexposure, and what many now call weaponized victimhood. Since stepping back as senior Raw Earls in 2020, Harry and Meghan have leaned hard into their narrative of independence. Think Netflix deals, Archewell's vague impact projects, and Meghan's Spotify podcast that ended after one season. Harry's spare promised reconciliation, with lines like, "I would love reconciliation with my family." There's no point in continuing to fight anymore, but those words feel hollow when you've spent years airing private grievances for profit, from Oprah's couch to Netflix's cameras. The public's patience has run dry, and Hollywood, an industry that thrives on relevance, has taken note. Insiders from WME and Netflix reveal that projects once tied to the Sussexes are now on ice. A senior exec at a major studio tells Variety anonymously, "They're not disruptors anymore, they're liabilities." The Almas just proved their box office poison. The real tragedy here isn't a bruised ego, it's the collapse of what little credibility they had left. Meghan's Netflix show flopped, her Spotify deal fizzled, and her children's book sequel barely made a ripple. Her latest PR stunt at the AMA's last-minute photo op with a youth music charity backfires when the charity, Voices for Change, issues a statement saying they were never consulted. It's a pattern from her staged Uvalde memorial visit in 2022 to her failed feminist partnerships. Meghan's attempts at image rehabilitation are now seen as transparent and contrived. Even the press has gone quiet. Vogue and the New York Times pass on her latest pitches, a far cry from the days when she graced their covers. Harry, meanwhile, looks like a man caught between rage and defeat. A backstage clip catches him muttering to Meghan, "This was a mistake," before they slip out a side exit 20 minutes before the show ends, skipping the after-parties entirely. The 2025 American Music Awards will be remembered not for the winners, but for the public funeral of Harry and Meghan's celebrity status. The boos, the snubs, the silence, they're not just a bad night. They're a collective statement. America has moved on. Hollywood has no room for royals who play victims while cashing million-dollar checks. The Sussexes may still have their Montecito mansion, their Netflix deal, their tabloid headlines, but they've lost something far more valuable: relevance. As the crowd's jeers echo into the night, one thing is clear: the world isn't clapping for their drama anymore. It's telling them to take their act off the stage.